It's the end of the day. It's time to close up shop. However, something tells you to stay back for a bit. For the next hour or two, you'll be staying after hours. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Double After Hours podcast. We're talking about a funny little film.
Oh, it's funny.
It's a film and a half.
Anyone who claims this is a serious movie is on meds. I don't care what they say.
You're on what William Dafoe was on.
Dude, give me some of it.
We're talking about Spider-Man 2002.
Can you tell who suggested this episode?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm Charlie Robinson, by the way, in case you're going to tell. And the reason we kind of came to this goofy little conclusion is because Aaron and I, after we recorded the Seinfeld episode, which is up now as we're recording this, and...
Go check it out. It's good.
Exactly. It's something all right.
Oh, it derailed very quickly at the end, but hey.
Yeah, anyway. And we're sitting there, we're making jokes or whatever. We kept making a bunch of Spider-Man 2 jokes for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there going, well, let's talk about Spider-Man 1.
Right.
And here we are.
And here we are, 1 2-hour movie later.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, I don't really know how much else we really want to prelude this.
I mean, I'm Aaron Gresser, by the way. I don't think I mentioned my name. I'm here.
Aaron.
And I actually watched something superhero related.
I know, right?
And I watched it about 2 hours ago.
So it's fresh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I watched it a couple of days ago as of this recording, so
yeah,
it's still relatively fresh in my brain.
Well, I mean, yeah, I got it.
As fresh as Willem Dafoe's goofy little grins can be.
What is that movie, dude?
Dude, let's get into it.
All right, let's talk.
Before we jump into what the actual movie is, a couple of things. One, for those of us who have kind of listened to our previous movie episodes like Bolt, Cars, Clutch, and Seinfeld, I guess we'll include this too. Yeah. We're going to mix things up in terms of how we talk about movies and TV because if you could tell by the Seinfeld episode, which has been released, we were a little unorganized.
Yeah, which is a great callback to a certain other stunt of ours. A 2-year stunt.
A little radio station.
That our great buddy Phil won't stop talking about. Love you, Phil. He's awesome.
Anyway.
Thanks for coming on that one episode. We still
Exactly. Work Stories Part 2. Great episode. Go listen to it. But, so... what I basically did is I made a little list of questions that'll kind of guide us through the whole movie-ish and kind of let us go into little side tangents as we may. Okay. Instead of just us going, well, and this happened here.
Just giving the quick synopsis.
Right, which if you guys want to see the return of quick synopsis, then let us know. I don't personally care, but let us know if you want it.
You can email us.
Yeah,
you ever talked about the email?
I mean, we have one. It's the doubleafterhourspodcast@gmail.com if you do want to email us stuff. We just haven't really made that public. I mean, I think it's on the YouTube channel somewhere.
I need to edit the ending and intro and outro. Future Aaron, that's your goal, okay?
Okay, future Aaron, edit and future Aaron comically laughing, saying, I'm not going to do that.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that video will be up by the time this comes up. Probably not, but the Legends of Future Aaron, that's a whole bit that we'll eventually see on the channel.
Yeah. If you do already see it, you know what we're talking about.
Exactly. But we already know what we're talking about today. It's Spider-Man 2002. And I guess we'll kind of start before we get into the general questions.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'll let you go first. I have a feeling this is going to be a Charlie Yap-centric episode.
Oh, very much so.
Because this is like my Virgin Messiah over here. So we're going to Aaron, what's your relationship to this movie? Just spell it out.
Okay. So I've seen this movie before. This is not my first time watching it.
Right, not your first swing with the Spidey.
Not my first swing with Tobey Maguire's big 2-hour special.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is not. That will be another great episode.
God, cannot wait for
Spider-Man 2. But you gotta start at the beginning. Mm-hmm. It's a very good place to start. This movie is weird. This movie is and when I've watched modern Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so strange going from that and even Sony production. When Soin decided, oh yeah, we need that Spider-Man. Yeah. That Spider-Man guy.
Yeah.
So even the new Spider-Man movies like Far From Home and all the other ones.
And No Way Home, Home on the Range.
that's
Home
for
Christmas. Oh my god, dude. Home on the Range will be nuts.
We're doing Home on the Range eventually.
Home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Home Wrecker.
Yeah. Homer.
Spider-Man. Go!
But, even the new Sony productions, they're good. They're really good.
They are.
And then you go to Spider-Man 2002.
Listen, I know we're treading on a lot of dangerous waters claiming this movie isn't a masterpiece. To a lot of people, this movie is amazing. And for all y'all out there, that's wonderful. This movie, obviously, like, it does a lot of things right. Sure. We're not going to sit here and, like, destroy it for the whole hour or two or whatever, how long this is going to be. Because, again, in a lot of cases, this is how people are introduced to the character.
Sure.
Like, obviously, he was the thing before in the comics and the cartoons and games, but this, for a lot of modern audiences, is how we were introduced to Spider-Man. Sure. Myself included. This was probably the first Spider-Man thing I watched, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Maybe I saw a cartoon back in the day, but this is one of the first things that really cemented the idea of Spidey in our minds.
Yeah.
So, just because we make fun of it doesn't
not
mean we don't like it.
Yeah.
I know we shouldn't have to state that to the obvious, but for the fish who are listening, there you go.
Just to preface, don't get angry. That email we just gave you, it's not for hate mail. It's going directly in the circular file.
It's for love mail.
Yeah. You know that Bryce guy. Oh, man.
Guys, when we get 100 subscribers, Bryce will take off his shirt for the camera.
He already did that in the radio studio.
Yeah, but we didn't post it.
Yeah.
But this time, we'll post it.
Yeah, this time. It's all yours, ladies or men.
Again, actually, no, we're recording this in July.
It's July 1st. Yeah.
So it's not Pride Month anymore.
It's over. But why are we talking about that? We're talking about Spider-Man.
Dude, Spider-Man's fruity and you know it. But anyway, so let me just look at my grand... What? The man wears a spandex suit and swings around for the world to see. His arse is covered in blue spandex. There's nothing to imagination with Spider-Man.
Would you like to remind the audience that you have one too?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to retell that story?
If you want to, real quick, yeah.
Sure. So, for context, last Halloween, I bought a Spider-Man cosplay suit to wear, obviously, because I was hanging out with some friends on Halloween or whatever, and we were going to see a movie or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Why not? I don't dress up. I don't dress up for Halloween typically, but we're mixing things up this year. New year, new me. We said that in October, but
guys, nothing's
changed, and. You know, I got the suit in the mail and I'm testing it out. It's like, oh man, this is cool. I'm just like my twink friend Tom Holland. And here's the cool thing about, well, not necessarily a cool thing, but here's a fun fact about Spider-Man cosplay suits, or just any kind of like spandexy cosplay you might be thinking of. It doesn't leave a ton to the imagination. So some areas of my body, such as my butacular and my frontal region, leave it up to the imagination. We're a little defined, if you may say the least. And I tried to find a way to mitigate that. And my genius solution was a baseball cup, which made me look hard as a rock. But at that point, I'm like, I'd rather look stiff than flaccid. That was my thought process.
I mean, yeah, sure.
I mean, we've all seen the pictures. But, you know what?
I can't wait for that to make it in the highlight.
Oh my god! Yeah, I'm putting a picture up. I don't care.
Okay.
What, public embarrassment? That's gaining followers 101.
Right.
But anyway,
it's what Instagram loves.
It does, exactly, and war crimes. But anyway,
it's violence, war crimes, death, and Charlie's Spider-Man pictures.
Hey, dude, if Vietnam was a thing during Instagram, we would not be taking it as seriously as we do today.
Yeah,
no shot. Someone would be making some kind of like Sigma edit over Vietnam death and it'd be like, oh my god, dude, stop. But
if you've seen that one, I know this thing is so off track. If you've seen that one video, it's like, my outfit for Vietnam. First, we're gonna wear this low crop t-shirt. It's absolutely so adorable. Next, we're gonna wear these booty jeans. They're fantastic. Have you seen? I will send that to you later.
My mouth is like gaping open, dude. I did not know this. In my perfect world, that video still exists where there's like napalm like slowly like hitting the guy. But anyway, back to another version of napalm, my Spider-Man suit. So, you know, I go outside to show the world, and like people are honking their horns like from their cars. They're like hyped, like, "Yo, it's Spider-Man!" I'm like, "Oh,
this is on college campus too."
Oh yeah, again, because I go to a college, University of Iowa. That's all I'll say.
Go find him.
No, I'll hurt you. And you know, people are like getting hyped or whatever. And I'm outside of a restaurant with my friend, kind of waiting for other friends to show up. And this one car drives up and looks at me and looks at the crotchal region that was looking a little goofy down there.
Of course.
and yells, "Hey, Spider-Man! Is that a baseball cup or are you hard as a rock?" and drives away.
Why does he sound like the Rocky coach?
Because that's how she sounded, dude. But anyway, and she drives away. And again, here's the cool part about being half deaf and wearing stuff over it is I didn't really hear her. So my cool little response was a thumbs up. Which makes it even funnier.
That's phenomenal.
And then, I guess to quickly wrap this story up, I got catcalled a bunch, as we all do. People like going, "God dang, that's a booty." Straight men too.
Okay. Yeah.
Because anyway,
welcome to 2024.
Exactly. Welcome to Halloween on a college campus. There are no boundaries. But and you know, and that's I thought it would be Spider-Man not make his way home. You've seen the radio highlight that I made a while ago. If you want like the full like story, dig deep on the Double After Hours Instagram page and find like the 7-minute like version where I tell the whole story.
The proof that the radio show happened.
Exactly. Lord knows we can't scrub it off the face of the internet. But
nope.
God, I wish we could.
Yeah.
But
gotta scrub it out of Phil's mind.
No, we can't do that. But we gotta scrub Spider-Man 2002 back in.
Yes.
Because no one wants to hear about how the fact I looked hard as a rock on Halloween last year.
I mean, some people might.
They might.
You never know.
I mean, I don't know what they're into. If they're into me, I don't know.
There you go. Secret admirer.
I hope not. What?
Just picturing some dude walking up to you. He's on the side of the road. Yeah. He's like walking up to you. "Hey, Charlie, I heard that story. Come here." It's all over.
Just come here.
It's all over.
Oh my God. But John, what's starting? Yeah. Let's actually talk about this.
Yeah, so let's talk. We're 11 minutes in.
Dude, but it's fine.
Oh, it's fine.
Because Spider-Man 2002 brings out the cosplay suit in all of us. Put that on a poster. Put that on a shirt.
Get on a shirt. Yeah,
we'll go back to our fictional shirt line that eventually I'd like to make.
Yeah,
who knows?
It'll be coming soon.
Eventually,
when we get money.
Exactly, and a bigger base because
yes.
we'd love to do it, but we want to sell to more people. Anyway,
yes. Anyways.
So we will start with the introduction of this movie because it starts off in a very goofy way, I'd say, and introduces us to what I like to call Tobey Maguire isn't that good at being Spider-Man. Which is a very hot take, and put your pitchforks down for a second. I love the guy. I love his Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to insult anyone for liking him.
Sure.
But you gotta admit, they dialed up the wallflower energy on this man a little too hard.
Yeah.
Who am I? You sure you want to know? Sounds like he's describing, like, him working at Denny's or something, and not, like, being Spider-Man. Like...
I mean, doesn't Mary Jane, like, doesn't she work at like a Denny's type
like
location?
Like a diner at one point, yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
And the reason I bring it up is because, you know, like, listen, Tobey is a solid actor, and he's a good Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when it comes to him in this movie, he is just the most, like, blank face, like, boo, like, kind of character.
Yes, it's got no...
He doesn't have like the sauce that like Spider-Man probably should have, which to me in this movie particularly isn't as big of a problem because he's just starting out. I don't expect him to be like the confident character we usually kind of know him as. Like this is Spider-Man, like, you know, he's a little fresh, he's a little young. But Tobey always kind of looks like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes.
He kind of looks like he's always going, "Oh." And you kind of see that in this intro where he's like, "I'm Peter Parker. My tale isn't for the faint of heart.
Oh my God.
I stubbed my toe." And you know, but I will give the intro of this. It does actually do a pretty good job at setting him up.
Sure.
Because we see him, he's running after, he's trying to get on the bus, he's running after it, he gets tripped, yada, yada, yada. Classic Peter Parker stuff that we kind of all know today from this movie. Like, again, what this movie does do very well is effortlessly set up kind of what we know Spider-Man to be in his early years. A wallflower nerd who doesn't really know what he wants to do yet. Yeah. And we see that. And then we get our little intro to a Mr. Willem Dafoe's Harry Osborn. Norman Osborn.
Norman Osborn.
Sorry. James Franco's Harry. My bad. Yeah. Slip of the tongue. I love this guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You a big fan?
Dude. How could you not be?
I mean, I love Willem Dafoe as an actor. I mean,
totally.
He's phenomenal. He's been in a billion, trillion things.
Right, and this is probably a lot of younger generation people's first intro to him.
Yeah.
And I gotta say,
the
absolute fruitcake this man is in this movie. I love it.
Did he steal the show?
Oh, dude, he is the show.
He was. It should have been called
Green Goblin.
Yeah,
featuring Spider Boy.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
what
dude.
a guy. Riding around on his big green bunny.
In his big purple tricycle of death. Oh my god, but anyway, back to kind of what we see him as. You know, we see him as mild-mannered Norman Osborn, like, I want to make weapons. And obviously all the government guys who's giving him his funding is like, your formula is kind of not that great.
Yeah.
The last guy who did it went insane.
It's not ready. Oh, it's ready.
Oh, it's ready. Only one guy went insane.
And what happened to that one guy?
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, that was the ultimate. And of course, later on, it's the movie trope. Of course, the 1% happens.
Right, exactly.
It could be 99% successful, and of course, for movie plot, the 1% happens.
No, right.
But that's getting a little ahead.
But anyway, so obviously there's one of his like lead scientist partners is like, Norman, we have to go back to formula. Because they love using that phrase, by the way. It's not as threatening as they think it is, but they love using it.
Yeah.
So he's like, Norman, we have to go back to formula. He's like, I don't want to do that. And it's like, So basically they either have to kind of prove their thing isn't insane or they lose their funding. Whole thing. Because I guess Oscorp's whole entire financial backing is based on this one project. Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we cut back to Peter and that cool old school. Because he...
that cool old
I don't know, because he's on a field trip.
Oh, yeah.
With a teacher that looks younger than him.
Yeah, that was kind of...
Dude, that teacher's so funny.
Yeah.
He just whispers everything threatening. The next person who talks will fail his course. I kid you not. I'm going to whisper something here. This is one of my favorite things about this movie and Sam Raimi movies as a whole.
Yeah.
The extras are amazing.
Can we please talk real quick about my favorite in Spider-Man 2?
Why not?
Jumping ahead a little bit, Spider-Man 2. There's an extra Spider-Man. He's swinging through the city, and there's this one extra lady. She's sitting she's just standing there. She's watching him go by and goes, "Go, Spidey, go!" It is the equivalent to the George Costanza, "Congratulations."
Just nonsense. And Spider-Man 1 is filled with it.
And it's not like it's like a quick pan or anything. They focus on this lady.
Oh, yeah, they do.
For a solid 5 seconds.
And it's amazing because she looks stoned out of her mind. Like, oh!
I saw there's a one really funny. There's an edit of Spider-Man 2. It's called Peter the Park Ranger.
Love that video.
And it's great. And they just extended this scene to be even longer
and holier.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, back to Spider-Man 1.
Back to Spider-Man 1. Yes.
Because there are a ton of goofy little extras in here.
Oh, believe me, I watched it. I saw them.
I guess one of my I don't know. So we're at the museum, right? And this, I mean, actually, I think this is actually when we're introduced to Willem Dafoe at first.
Yeah, because he pulls
up the car with James Franco Harry.
Yeah.
That's right. We skipped ahead a little bit. My bad.
Yes.
But anyway, because Harry or Norman is like, you should be proud of who you are, even though you've been kicked out of a billion private schools.
Right. They're taking a field trip to that one, what is it, Columbia University?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was really funny because the movie is made by Sony, Columbia. More Sony references. The Sony references in this movie are insane.
They get worse as these go on.
It's just like, oh, look, a Sony monitor, a Sony TV. Look, that's Sony phone.
A Sony gun. A Sony pumpkin bomb. God, the idea that Uncle Ben was killed by a Sony gun is the funniest thing in the world. Peter, this product placement's out of control. Die.
Here's a link to buy it.
This death was brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Can we I feel like there's gotta be a movie that's like all sponsorships.
Yeah, it's called the Emoji Movie.
That's true. That's another one with a bunch of Sony commercials in it.
Yeah, dude, because it's made by Sony. But anyway, we'll get to that movie eventually because it's horrible.
We will never forgive you, Sony, for that one.
I won't.
Never.
But they made Spider-Verse. But they made Spider-Verse.
They did. But
It
they
evens out,
also
in my
made the
opinion.
Emoji Movie. And they killed a good Popeye movie.
That is true. They did do that.
A promising Popeye movie that looked
Like
great.
Gendy.
And then you turned it into the Emoji Movie.
And you turned into Weird Number 2.
We're watching the Emoji Movie for a
Eventually.
Yeah.
But back to Spider-Man 1. We like this movie, guys. It leads to a billion other things.
Yeah, it does.
So they're
It
at,
makes you fume.
It makes you fume. So they're back to the museum, and we're introduced to Peter and Harry. And one thing I want to ask is that, man, Peter and Harry don't seem like very good friends.
No, they're not.
Which is weird because, again, I don't want to keep turning into this character of Charlie. But in the comics, Peter...
I mean, you can if you want to. You know him better than I do.
I'll go briefly into it because I do think the way that Raimi kind of had some changes is interesting and does help the movie sometimes. Harry and Peter didn't meet until college in the comics. Peter didn't really have a ton of friends in high school just because Peter actually didn't spend that much time in high school in the early comics because it was a whole thing with Stan and all the other guys who were working on the book because some people like Ditko believe that Spider-Man as a character should only exist in high school. A lot of people obviously don't agree with that, myself included. And so what happens a lot of the time is that when they adapt stuff is that they take characters who were introduced in his college days like Mary Jane, Harry, Gwen, like a ton of other characters and throw them in high school because it's easier.
Yeah.
Because instead of like building Peter's social core of other characters, let's keep reusing the same ones, maybe. But in 2002, it wasn't as big of an issue. We'll get to it later. So we're introduced to Harry Osborn, James Franco, who looks like he can't bother to be there.
He's just phoning it in.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah,
he isn't my favorite Harry.
Listen, I could tell the phoning it in.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I don't want to say it like completely ruined the character for me.
Right.
But it kind of, it hindered it a little bit.
Right.
Because if performance is huge.
No, right. And obviously there's a few interesting performances in this movie that we remember, like friggin', I don't know, back to Formula Man over there.
No. Oh, we can't forget all the memes from this too.
Oh my, yeah. As soon as
we'll talk about that later.
When Norman said, "I'm something of a scientist myself," I was like, "Oh yeah, that's in this movie."
You got to get a chuckle out of it. Or wait, who are you? I just keep thinking of the one where he jumps up and he's farting. That's my favorite.
You know who I am?
Oh man,
I don't know, pizza guy.
Yeah, he delivers pizza.
That's true. In the second one,
we keep talking about the second.
So,
let's just talk about the second one.
God, I love Spider-Man too. But anyway,
coming soon to a podcast near you.
Exactly. In a few months, we'll do Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
But
not a podcast, the podcast.
Exactly.
The only one.
Exactly. That you should listen to.
Yes.
So, but anyway, back to Spider-Man 1.
Is this our version of the Sony plugs?
Yeah. Just plugging our podcast.
Yeah, it's right in the middle.
But
Spider-Man. I loved when he listened to the Double After Hours podcast later in the movie. He's cranking it up, dude.
He's trying to figure out the sequence of Green Goblin, and all he hears it's the end of the day.
do, 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 do.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're at the museum, and this isn't when we're introduced to Mary Jane as she's in earlier scenes, but it's kind of when we get a little more focus on, because Peter, he likes Mary Jane because she's a pretty girl.
Yes.
Which obviously there's more to it that the movie gets into. I'm not going to try and make the whole character girl.
I mean,
listen, I think she's a lot better in this movie than the others.
No.
That's just me. But
Kirsten Dunst, definitely on my list. 2002 Kirsten Dunst, definitely on my...
Yeah, I mean, she was a solid, young Mary Jane. I was watching this kind of, expecting older Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
For some reason. As if modern-day Kirsten Dunst replaced my memory as 2002 Kirsten Dunst. That's like,
They're two different beings.
It's like, oh, wait, younger exists.
Yeah.
But...
people age. What?
What? No. Frank Sinatra's not dead. You are.
Idiot. What an idiot.
Let's get out of here.
Come on, guys.
Which is what happens after freaking Peter the Park Ranger gets bit by the spooky little spider, where Mary Jane goes, "One's missing."
I love how they don't even raise any alarm for that.
I guess that one's in further testing.
How do you know that? Did you confirm?
Did you ask around, hey, did we miss our spooky little venomous spider?
Yeah.
No.
Venomous super spider.
You know what? You're right. My bad.
You don't think that's going to raise the we need to go look for this thing? Come on.
It's fine, because eventually...
It's because movie.
Right, because eventually Peter the Park Ranger gets a bitty bit, which I actually do like the way they handle this in this movie, because at the end of the day, listen, there's a lot of Spider-Man stories that like to pretend he's destined for this.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think it's dumb.
It's an accident.
Yeah, it's more interesting that way.
I mean, it's a very convenient accident.
Sure, don't get me wrong, but
that's just movie. You have to have that.
That's
for
just
movie.
storytelling. You have to have a little bit of convenience for some of this stuff to work.
Sure.
And I think it's fine here. And I think a lot of the best Spider-Man stories kind of play into the fact he's just kind of an everyday guy. Yeah. Once they start making him like, you were destined to do this, Peter. Ooh.
It's spooky.
Well, that's what it is, because it's dumb. Like, Amazing Spider-Man, when we get to those movies, does this in spades. And it's a choice that I hate. But we'll get to it. But here, it's good. It's okay. It's quick. We know who Peter is. We don't really, marinate on knowing more about him, because we kind of know him enough at this point. And he gets bit. And obviously he doesn't feel too hot. And he goes home. And this is when we're introduced to, I believe, these versions of Uncle Ben and Aunt May.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
And, they're good versions. Obviously, Uncle Ben isn't here for too long because he has to get clapped.
Yeah, the canon event.
Right.
Love how that made a return in the Spider-Verse.
Oh my god, dude. Cannot wait to talk about those movies.
In the background. I remember we were in the theater laughing because you were like, oh, look, it's Uncle Ben. It's Tobey Maguire. Ha, ha, ha.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
I don't remember that at all.
You pointed it out, and we were all like hysterics, and like the people behind us were like, shut up.
No, because listen, watching Across the Spider-Verse in theaters is one of my fondest memories in a movie theater in a while, because that movie's amazing, and watching it with your group of friends is great.
Sure.
But anyway, Peter goes back home. He's like, I feel a little goofy. I'm going upstairs. And they're like, all right, weirdo. Hormones, I guess. And
yeah, I love that line too. Hormones gets him around this season or something. What is that? What he said? What did he say?
It's like, it's kids these days.
Yeah, kids these days.
Something like that.
They're silly hormones.
Peter,
we never had those. Back in my day,
I woke up from 3 foot to 6 foot in an hour. I went from playing to toys with playing with propane.
It was all that asbestos. Makes you strong.
That lead poison makes you smart.
Talcum powder. Eat it.
What do you mean it's filthy? That means it's good. But so Peter Parker falls off his big old bed, but still has the strength to put a cover over him. Nice.
I mean, it's a little convenient falling off the bed.
Whatever. It's
blanketing.
Yeah. And we get some goofy little transitions in this scene.
That's the other thing.
Oh my god.
This movie cannot decide whether it wants to do a goofy There's 3 types of transitions in this movie. There's goofy transition, there's a fade to black, and then fade up from black.
There's also, you cut the scene way too early.
There's a lot of that. That's number 3.
That's number 4.
Is that number 4?
I mean, I could just listed 3.
Did I? No, I said goofy transition.
Fade to black, fade up from black.
Yeah, but it's the same thing.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
It's the...
I go to school for this, white boy.
Same transition.
I don't care. I'll show you a transition. Thank you for listening. Anyway.
That's our dead air music.
Oh, my God. But we get a goofy little skull transition or whatever. Just nonsense. Pure nonsense.
It's like he was getting struck by... It's like the cartoon struck by lightning.
It's funny, though.
Yeah.
This movie has a lot of those. And, I think then we cut to Norman and all his chicanery, if I remember correctly. Because this is when Norman is trying to, test the serum on himself. Because I'll show those government men. Right. The serum's completely fine. And uh-oh. It's not. Yeah.
Big surprise there,
right.
Willie.
And his lead assistant, partner doctor, I forgot his name. Yeah. But, the bald guy, you glasses, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but, he's the assistant.
Right, and he's trying to save Norman because his heart rate goes flat. So he goes into the, canister chamber, whatever you want to call it, save him or whatever. And his heart rate skyrockets. And the one of the goofiest visuals I've ever seen in my life. Oh, first of all, before we even get to that, when like Norman takes off his shirt and he goes into like his little tray and like the metal bars hit him, he goes, "That's cold."
I want to believe that was a line they just left in.
I think that was like Willem Dafoe's genuine reaction.
There's no way that was scripted.
God, I would kill to read this. I know the script is online somewhere, so I'm sure we can fact check.
Yeah.
But I would kill for a line that just goes, "That's cold." Oh my gosh, my Norman nipples are a little frosty.
Congratulations. I want to believe that was unscripted too, because he just had nothing to say. So,
but anyway, so we friggin' his heart rate skyrockets, and he grabs his assistant and yells, "Back to formula," which is not as threatening as they think it is.
Yeah,
and throws him out the glass and kills him.
Right,
and Willem.
Yeah.
Oh, Willy.
Oh, silly Willy. Silly Willy.
Silly Willy's so funny. So Silly Willy, friggin' the green goofball. Aaron has to take a minute to compose himself.
Okay.
So the green goofball.
Green goofball and Silly Willy.
And Spider Slacker. I don't know. Figure out a fun name for him. Jumps onto whatever and gives like a little crouching. You know the scene.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, he looks like he found out the McRib is back.
That was the whole reason he did it.
The McRib! Chicken selects are back. I gotta go.
Saw someone on set eating one.
Oh my God, dude. That would be me if I saw chicken selects were back.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss chicken selects so much. Okay. I would actually kill someone.
Back to formula.
Dude, no back to formula. Just murder.
Just murder?
Listen, McDonald's, I know you're listening. Sponsorship. McChicken selects with the double after chicken selects. Call them whatever you want. Make them black and white. It'll look disgusting.
Like that one Burger King burger that's all black.
Yeah. Put Bryce's face on the sauce or something like that. Because he's saucy. Get it?
Yeah.
Make all of us a Happy Meal toy. Shane with interrupting action.
It's really going to call him out like that?
I don't care.
Okay.
He'll call me out when I'm not here.
He'll interrupt you when you're here.
That's true. But anyway, so Chicken Select Meister himself, is like, he's all insane. And he kills a scientist in goofy little times and like takes the suit or whatever and takes everything.
Yeah.
And I believe after this is when Peter wakes up or whatever. And he's feeling good.
Which is like, oh, I'm great now.
Yeah. I mean, comic book logic, whatever. It's fine. He's ripped. He's feeling good. He doesn't need his glasses anymore. Yeah. Spider sense and serums can apparently do it all. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go to school now or whatever.
I love how nobody questions until way later in the movie why he doesn't have glasses anymore.
Right.
Because that's like a thing he needs.
Well, yeah.
You think Uncle Ben or Aunt May would say like, oh yeah,
Peter, you forgot your glasses.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. He doesn't seem like the type of guy to wear contacts.
I mean, they didn't question all the damage in the room.
Which supposedly they should have seen.
Yeah. Who knew that one Dr. Pepper can could cause so many minutes of destruction.
Oh my God. Product placement.
Yeah.
But,
you got a little product placement.
Dude, we'll get to it.
Drink Arizona. It's good.
I won't. But anyway. So,
dang it.
Didn't work.
My product placement failed.
Awesome. The product placement we weren't paid to do.
Yeah.
Good job, Aaron.
The official beverage of the Double After Hours. That's going to
cocaine.
The official drug.
Dude, can we have that like in the NFL? Or like other like serious organizations, the official drug of the NFL.
Yeah. The official
Prozac.
The official narcotic. That's great.
Be like Aaron Rodgers. Take these shrooms today.
Look like a homeless man 2 days later.
Anyway, so New York Jets fan Peter Parker.
Is he canonically?
I mean, he is a Mets fan. That is canon.
Uncle Ben has a Yankees hat on.
Well,
though.
Spider-Man's a Mets fan. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so Uncle Ben just wasn't. That's why he had to die. Because
Yeah.
he's not a Mets fan.
Peter, they took me for my Yankees hat. Blah! Peter, I don't like Derek Jeter.
I didn't meet the Mets. It was all over.
Oh my God. God, the image that Uncle Ben died for not being a Mets fan.
Oh,
Peter, it's not about the Mets. Peter shoots him again.
with the Sony gun.
But anyway, we're going to get ourselves.
Yes.
So Peter goes back to school, and, he's, like, testing his powers or whatever, because, he's a growing boy.
Sure.
And he accidentally finds out he has webbing. Which,
yeah.
by the way, guys, I mean, we all know, but that's not typically how it works. Usually he makes the webs.
Yeah.
This time he doesn't. This is one of the few times he doesn't.
Yeah, he's just got it naturally.
He just shoots it out of his wrist, and it's a little gross.
It's very strange.
I mean, it was a choice. I don't hate it. I'm just going to tell y'all that's not usually how it works, but it's kind of funny. So I'll let it slide.
I mean, if he's getting all the arachnid powers,
why doesn't he get the extra legs?
Wouldn't that just be included in the bundle, though?
With a Spider-Man bundle that comes in this
yeah, it comes in the set with the,
Well, yeah, but
they're just built in.
Well, it's because I think the point of the web shooters in the comics is going to like prove Peter's like ingenuity and like knack for science,
Sure, but I think there's other ways you could show that.
I mean, sure, but I think that's a solid way of showing it. But anyway,
yeah.
Because speaking of science, everyone loves science in this movie. Science boners all around. But before we get to that, he accidentally spills food. Well, actually, before that, he saves Mary Jane from slipping and like saves her food or whatever by doing a goofy little technique.
Wow, great reflexes!
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Go, Spidey, go!
Everyone's just in this room.
Oh yeah,
George Costanza and extra too.
Can you do it on the Frogga?
Spider-Man, you got a Frogga?
Yeah, love that episode.
God, George Costanza harasses Spider-Man about Frogger.
That's a
good one.
Canon event.
Yeah, dude. Happened off screen.
Yeah.
But
it's in the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They had one on set sitting in the back.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Okay.
But, he saves Mary Jane, and she goes to sit with Flash Thompson, her boyfriend at this time.
Yeah.
And, Peter finds out he has webbing, and he accidentally webs food onto Flash. Oh no. And he tries to, like, kind of run away from it or whatever, which, I get it. He doesn't really know he has, like, super strength yet. He doesn't really know the extent of what he can... What?
Whose name is Flash?
Like, the character?
No, this guy's named Flash.
His real name's Eugene.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a nickname.
Yes. Because why would you want to be called Eugene?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Be a canonical Mr. Krabs fan. Eugene Krabs.
This movie came out a little after, so I don't think the timeline makes sense. But anyway. So
he's so off track.
So he accidentally spills stuff on Eugene, and Flash is like, "I'm gonna kill you, Peter." And Peter's like, "Oh, don't do that."
Yeah.
And this is when we're introduced to his spider sense in some goofy CGI. And I know there's been some goofy CGI in this movie, but we haven't really mentioned it.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that I wrote down for questions.
Sure.
Aaron, what do you think of this goofy little CGI we get in this movie?
Okay. I understand this movie came out in 2002.
Yes.
2002 was quite the CGI era. I mean, this was before Avatar.
Yes.
Avatar is like...
Still looks great today.
At the time was the gold standard for CGI.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's one of the highest grossing films of all time.
Yes.
It's one of the reasons.
We'll talk about it eventually.
Yeah.
When Bryce gets over himself.
When he calms down.
When he calms down about how bad the Avatar movies are.
Yeah. He just thinks they're too long.
I mean, I used to think that.
Yeah.
I'm a changed man.
Movie. But listen, Avatar was 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was quite a few years later. But this looks like a budget movie. Sometimes.
I wouldn't go that far.
Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes it's bordering okay.
Right.
And then there's the fight scene.
We'll get to it. And, obviously...
I have a very love-hate relationship to answer your question.
But okay. But I'll kind of get into it with some certain scenes later.
Yeah.
But, so we're introduced to his spider sense because he hears and sees everything because, that's just how it works.
Of course.
We all know what spider sense is. And it's a little goofy. We all know that. But as established by the tone of this movie earlier... Goofy is its middle name. Spider Goofy
right.
Man.
Right. Silly Silly Willy.
Silly Willy and Spider Slacker.
Yeah.
And, he's dodging all the Flash's attacks, like, kind of like, like he's jumping and flipping around, which, by the way...
He's doing a Matrix kind of thing. It's like when he's dodging the bullets.
I wouldn't go that far. Just more acrobatics. And he, punches Flash in the chest and he flies away onto the ground. And Mary Jane's like, "You're a freak," and then walks away. And Harry's like, "Peter, that was rad."
Yeah. I love how he's the only one that was like, wow.
Which, hey, proves they're good friends, I guess.
The movie doesn't show it later, but,
But
the movie does not do a great job of showing it.
Exactly.
That's your one and only there.
That's your one and only.
No.
And, Peter runs away.
Yeah.
Because I guess you can do that in 2002.
At school, you can just wander off.
It was a different time, I guess.
Yeah, it's New York.
It was Manhattan. Well, no, it's Queens.
It's Queens, yes.
Queens. Cannot forget.
Yeah.
But...
How dare you?
Well, the Mets fan was Philly. And Spider-Man runs away because, obviously, like, he just beat up the biggest, like, jock at school. What's going on? Of course. And he finds out that he can stick to walls.
Oh, I didn't like this scene.
Really?
When it shows the close-up of his thumb.
Yeah.
That's the only part I really didn't like.
No, right.
The rest of it's like, when he does the thing when he turns around and goes, woo! I mean, that will forever be a classic.
Oh my god, I love that. So it's so dumb, and every Spider-Man movie has a goofy yell like that. There's one in Amazing Spider-Man where Andrew Garfield just yells, it's so funny.
Oh man!
And we get one here. He goes, woo!
And he it's a slow turn.
Oh, it's coming too.
And of course, the memes are so funny. There's like this one dude that's like wearing a robe. He opens it up and like 10 feet and like turns around and goes, woo! Oh my god! That's gonna be half of this podcast. It's just talking about the memes of this movie.
Dude, I hope that when Tobey Maguire got laid for the first time and like a woman like showed her like her areas.
Oh yeah,
that's what he yelled.
Like what you see. Woo! Oh my god. Woo!
I had a great time tonight.
Woo!
Go Web, go!
Go Spidey! It's like the same ladies in the corner. Go Spidey, go!
Oh my god. Holy crap.
Oh boy. Oh boy, yeah.
I'm here, the park ranger, experiences the world of sex. He climbs a wall.
Yeah, he climbs a wall.
He does a great old job doing it.
Yes.
And this is where we're introduced to some more goofy CGI, where he's flinging himself like a rag doll. And actually, if we may bring ourselves down to earth for a quick minute, Roger Ebert, actually, when this movie came out, rest in peace, had a great quote about the CGI that I think about all the time, where it feels like rubber. It feels not flesh and bone.
Yeah.
And, in some scenes, like this one where he's flinging himself up and down. Sure, I get it.
Yeah, and half of it looks like a computer did it.
Yeah, which, again, listen, this is even something like people who work on Spider-Man movies say now. Don't try to do it practical. It's not going to work.
Okay.
Which... Like, if we're like 3 like series of movies into this and we're still saying don't do it practical, I guess we're not doing it practical.
Silly Sam is silly directing.
Oh, dude, I love Raimi. Like, his goofiness makes this movie so much more fun. Which is why I don't like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, because they don't have the Sam Raimi fun or like the John Watts like energy. So they
don't have Ghost Spidey Go.
They don't.
Yeah.
They got Peter, nature blood.
Yeah.
Or the electricity from the eels, like, stopping the gap in Electro's teeth and fixing them. That's not a joke. They zoom in on that scene. Look it up on YouTube if you want to fact check.
I got stuff to watch, dude.
Oh my god, dude. I cannot wait for Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's so bad. What?
I'm still thinking about like what you see.
Oh my
that
God.
might actually be my new favorite highlight.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for it.
Oh, boy.
And
Yeah.
so, he's trying to figure out how his webs work, which he yells a bunch of other things. Go, web, go. He yells Shazam at one point. Cute reference.
Yeah.
And eventually, he does the famous thwip gesture. We all know what we're doing at the rock hands. And he figures this out, and he flies and hits himself on the wall. Yippee-dee-dee.
Yeah.
And...
Can I nerd out for a second?
Yeah.
There's a billboard on the wall for traffic is fun.
Is it?
WNYZ 89 or is 98.8. Radio stations are on odd numbers, not even numbers. Get it right. Sign. Anyways.
Well, no, maybe they couldn't pay for a real one. All the budget went to woo!
You could put a fake frequency on there. I don't care. You can make it up a W silly stupid Spider-Man, and I don't care.
W Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They didn't say they're running out of frequencies though, in terms of identification numbers.
No. And that's call letters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's still plenty of call letters left.
Okay.
We should start one.
Yeah.
W After Hours Podcast.
Yeah, W woo!
WOAH.
I'm down. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we'll see.
It's memorable.
Yeah.
But
anyways, get it right, Sony.
right.
Soin.
So Peter is figuring himself out or whatever. And eventually he goes home, I think. And this is when I don't think this is the first time we're introduced to Mary Jane's abusive home life, but it's there.
Yeah.
And obviously Peter's like, oh no, the girl is sad. I will talk to her. Yeah.
Just like Clutch Powers, the worst thing in life, daddy issues.
Amen. And
what was it like? It makes the hear.
The only thing that can harm a god, daddy issues.
There you go.
But and the only
dad powers.
The only thing that can harm friggin' Spider Slacker over here is girl trouble, which comics 101. But
yeah,
and he walks back to his backyard to take out the rubbish. And, obviously she's out there, too, because she just wanted to, talk to dear old abusive dad.
Yeah.
And she's like...
Dad Jane.
Right, Dad Jane. And this is when we're kind of getting more of the Peter and MJ romance. A romance that I don't particularly like.
Oof, I got comments about the end of the movie, but we'll get there.
We'll get to it. Mainly just because... I don't know, man. I just generally think that they don't have that much chemistry.
Yeah.
They just kind of feel like, I'm saying the line like this to sound emotional. I hunch. Don't. And it's like, this isn't, there's no chemistry. Like Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, Tom and Zendaya, they have that chemistry, Like they're electric when they're in the same room. These guys really don't.
Yeah. And
we're introduced to that whole thing. And, Flash goes to pick up Mary Jane, this brand new car or whatever from Steve Harvey. And
I love it. I love the line. Nice car.
He walks away. Swings away.
And he's looking for
even this is when we're introduced to Peter's like, oh, I need the money for I can use my powers to get the money.
Yeah.
Money.
It's not about the money, Spider-Man.
It's about the Mets, baby.
Yeah.
And this is when we're introduced to Peter's little stint in wrestling. Because this is Spider-Man tradition at this point. He has to abuse his powers for selfish gain, and usually it's coming in the form of wrestling. It's just part of the shtick.
That was fun fact. This was the only thing. I was talking to my dad because he asked me, oh, what episode are you guys doing? Oh, we're talking about 2002 Spider-Man. It's like, oh, yeah, the one where they do the wrestling.
Yeah!
That's the only part he remembered.
That's such a shame because there are.
I mean, I'm sure he remembered most of the movie, but that was the only part he brought up to me.
You only remember 3 minutes of plate time. Woo!
When he wins, congratulations.
Oh my god!
We're gonna keep bringing that up. We're so sorry, not sorry.
So he designs his suit and he goes to wrestle, and obviously they're all looking at him like, "You're a shrimp. Don't do this. You're gonna die." And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna do it." And I'm like, "Alrighty." Yeah. So he has to fight Bone Crusher in the most Sam Raimi Bonesaw. Sorry, and he has to fight because they have the saws. They literally have the saw. What am I talking about? Yeah. Because in the most Sam Raimi fashion, because it's all theatrical, it's all fun, it's all goofy.
The audience, and this cuts back to the extras being extra.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed so hard when they do this weird fisheye lens under the big fat guy, and he's got the 22. He's like, oh yeah, it's Universal, kill him.
It's so funny. And Peter's obviously like, whoa, I didn't sign up for a cage match. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And Bonesaw's like, I got you in here for 3 minutes of playtime. Funniest thing in the world.
Why did he say it like
Because it's funny.
Was that scripted?
I hope no. I know it. No, I don't think it was. I think the line was scripted. I don't think the delivery was.
Okay, that was his own creation.
Yes, which is very funny.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man obviously flips around and wins after making homophobic comments. Thanks, Spidey. Real great job, guys. That's a cute outfit. Does your husband make it for you? What if he did, Spider-Man? What's wrong with it? Got a problem being homophobic? Woo! I like the idea it's like Pride Month in New York, and they're like, so Spider-Man, we found this
It was 2002!
No, it's like in the future. Like, it's
okay.
Like, this is like way
Okay.
down the line when Spider-Man's like loved by everyone or whatever. And they're like,
okay.
so Mr. Spider-Man, we were finding these comments you said when you were a brief wrestler. How do you respond to that now?
Woo!
Do you endorse them? Swings away.
Congratulations.
But anyway, yeah. He was a little homophobic back then. Oops.
It was 2002. It's fine.
I mean, is it?
Yeah.
No.
It's 2002. It's
No.
fine.
It's bad.
It's bad.
No, it's not.
Price?
Oh, anyway.
Anyways.
So he wins the match because he's Spider-Man. And he only gets $100 out of $3,000 he was promised because the match lasts only 2 minutes as opposed to 3. So he got skiffed or whatever.
Yeah, 2 minutes of playtime.
Only 2 minutes of playtime. And obviously he's kind of frustrated and he walks out and a burglar comes in after Peter leaves and takes all the money from the guy's like desk or whatever and runs away. And Spider-Man could have stopped it, but he didn't.
And he repeats a line that the other guy said. Like,
that's the part. I missed the part where that's my problem. That time the line worked.
Yeah.
That was great. I love that line a lot. And shortly after, because, the whole reason Peter's in this whole wrestling thing is because he lied about going to the library to Uncle Ben, which will go to kind of do this scene back to back, where Uncle Ben tried to kind of sit him down, because obviously Peter's different right now. He's been acting strange. He got into a fight, he's acting weird, and Uncle Ben's obviously worried about him because he raised him like a son. And we obviously get the famous, with great power comes great responsibility speech.
I was also with Uncle Ben, too. He was like, you got into a fight in school. That's not good. What was I supposed to do? Run away? No, you're not supposed to run away.
You're supposed to tap dance.
I'm like, you tell him not to fight, and then you tell him to fight. Okay.
All right, Uncle Ben, your rice sucks anyway.
Uncle Funkle.
Yeah, Funkle Ben. But
Uncle Dip.
Yeah, Uncle Dippy Doo Ben.
Yeah.
And he gives the whole famous, like, with great power comes great responsibility line. And, Peter's not having any of it because he's very much full of himself. He has the ego. And he says a pretty brutal line where he's like, then stop treating me like a son. Like, stop acting like you're my dad.
Yeah.
And obviously that cuts Ben to his core. And he says, I'll be here at 8 and leaves.
Yeah.
Pretty harsh words.
Which sets up something later in the movie.
Right. And then eventually we cut back to after the wrestling match when Peter's kind of just walking down the street in police cars and like a whole crowd is there. Because what happened is that the mugger that took all the money carjacked Uncle Ben and shot him.
With the Sony gun.
Right, with the Sony gun. Very sad. Yes, very sad. Anyway.
Yeah. Sony also shot that Popeye movie with the Sony gun, too.
Yeah, they love shooting a lot of things with that Sony gun. And obviously we get a very sad scene with Peter and Uncle Ben. He's like, Peter, die.
Yeah. This very solemn scene. Die!
Right, go ahead and edit that in the highlight. But
oh boy, yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. And Peter's obviously fuming. He's
mad.
Fuming in vengeance.
Angry boy.
And he is an angry boy. And he goes to hunt down the mugger, which he does eventually find him. Mm-hmm. And he kind of kills him.
Yeah.
Like, he just straight up kills him. Which, typically, sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes he doesn't kill him. Sometimes he just webs him up for the police. But this time, just full-blooded murder. Yeah. Which, because, again, the whole Spider-Man kill rule isn't as clear as Batman's, where Batman usually does not kill, and when he does, it's bad writing, unless it's an alternate timeline or whatever. Yeah. But here, Spider-Man's no-kill rule, a lot more loose.
I mean, it was revenge.
Sure.
He's pissed.
Right.
Uncle Ben. Uncle Funkle. That's
Uncle Ben's right. She can't do that.
Yeah.
But And obviously he kills him and he goes back home to Aunt May, who is obviously devastated because that's her husband. That's her love. She's gone.
Which I like that it was more of a, not just like, I like that there was no dialogue during that scene. Just kind of the music, which Danny Elfman did a good job with that one.
Yeah, Danny Elfman's score, I know we haven't talked about it a ton yet. Phenomenal.
Danny Elfman, the same guy who brought you I Love Little Girls.
I mean, I've heard he's not a great person, so I don't...
Danny Elfman, the lunatic, but he makes good music.
Danny Elfman. Gross. But Danny Elfman. Woo! But anyway, so, actually, we get like a funeral scene or whatever, I think. I don't remember, actually.
Yes. Yeah, it's after that, then they all appear at the funeral, and
right.
It's like, everybody's all sad.
Everyone's all sad, and, Peter's trying to figure everything out. And eventually,
yes,
Peter, I can't have Spider-Man be, like, this thing for hate or vengeance or whatever. Like, they don't say it out loud, but, like, you get it.
Yeah.
And eventually we cut back to Norman, because I know, this movie's a little weird. We got very Peter-centric, now we're a little more Norman-centric.
Yeah, it's kind of like a TV show where they had, like, the subplot going on.
And the other weapons developer that kind of poached Oscorp a bit was like, oh, here's our flight suit. And then Norman flies over in his big goofy suit. Silly Willy blows the test site. It's gone. It's done.
The goofy goblin.
Yeah, the goofy goblin blows up the goofy little site and goes, yeah, flies away.
I love that. The dude in the test suit. He's flying up.
Oh, it's
and
funny.
It's like, he's like, what is that? Whoa.
Oh, good God, my roast is ruined.
It just explodes.
So funny. And
someone dies. Funny.
So funny. God, I can't stop laughing.
No.
But
I can't. I want somebody. This is not, has nothing to do with the movie. Side plot here. I want somebody to make a Twitter account called Out of Context Double After Hours Podcast.
Woo!
Someone dies. So funny.
I can make that if you want.
I love it.
Oh my God, is that my new pet project again?
I mean, if you want to put yourself through it, or we'll make somebody else do it.
I don't care.
Make Phil do it.
Make Shane do it.
I'll make Shane do it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Shane. Get a new job. All right.
Okay. Thanks, Shane.
He's gone fishing.
But anyway, so, Peter's figuring his whole deal out, and he needs the money because he just graduated high school at this point. This is like, we'll start the graduation scene where, Norman obviously ignores his son because, that's what he does.
Of course.
It's just classic Norman Osborn behavior. And he's like, Peter, the science award, very good. Yeah.
My new son. My new son.
He killed me. Oops.
I love that. That's the whole plot. It's my new son.
It's Silly Willy's new son.
He's dude. He's the only child, but he's still not the favorite.
Amen. The butler's the favorite, but
Silly Willy.
Yeah, Silly Willy's big old butler, but he's important in the third movie. Oh boy,
he comes back.
Not from the dead because he's always alive.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's at the graduation. He's like, Peter, you're pretty cool. Bye.
You're my new son.
Right.
Sign this. Adoption forms.
Sign these adoption forms, even though you're probably an adult.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know. That's why I make Norman sound like that.
Because you're making him sound like Silly Willy.
It's funny. No, Silly Willy's the Green Goblin. Norman's just, hello. My cataracts are getting a little goofy. But anyway. But
it's over.
We move. Dude, it's starting. But we'll cut a little forward because we gotta move a little quicker.
Move for time. Yes.
Move for time. And we're kind of adjusting to Peter's new life, and he realizes I need the money, Spider-Man, because there's a whole cash prize for people who can get pictures of Spider-Man. And this is when we're introduced to J.K. Simmons himself, J. Jonah Jameson.
Which
it's perfect casting.
No,
I don't
it's
know
great.
What to tell you. Like,
if you want a killer announcer, that's it.
Right.
J.K. Simmons.
God.
He's your guy.
I mean, obviously, I love J.K. Simmons in a lot of things. Like, obviously, I was introduced to him here. Whiplash. Cannot wait for us to do that episode. He's phenomenal there.
Yeah. I mean, he was in the Portal games. He was the announcer in there. He's phenomenal. That was great too.
He's Omni-Man, Invincible. He's a ton of really cool things. He was the villain in Kung Fu Panda 3. Guy.
Yeah.
I almost forgot his name. Great voice, obviously great actor, just as good as live action as he is voice acting. I don't know if that's a hot take, but he's a great guy. Had a coffee with him one time.
Yeah.
Killed me. But
Silly Willy.
Silly Willy.
Can we get Silly Willy to do some voice acting for us?
It's the end of the day.
Do, do, do.
Anyway.
That music's so goofy.
And Peter is like, oh man, I can make some money doing this whole picture thing. Yeah. So he gets some pictures of Spider-Man, which are pretty good in his new suit.
Pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah, 1250.
I'll give you $3.50.
I'll give you $3.50. And he goes, crap, mega crap.
Which is the most J.K. Simmons thing you could do.
I know. Just take a crap, mega crap.
Watch me a violin.
Watch me crap, mega crap.
Double After Hours podcast. Crap,
mega crap. Oh. And so Peter finds a way to make some money in this trying economy.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Sure.
Because obviously, Uncle Ben's not there, so they need the money.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of forgot what scene comes next after that. Oh, you know what? Because he goes out of the WOOOOOHHHH and he sees Mary Jane again. I think that's it. And, this is when Mary Jane is doing her goofy little diner stink, because obviously she wants to be an actress, but she's got to start from somewhere.
Of course.
So she's at a diner. She's all ashamed about it, but Peter's like, nah, you got to start from somewhere. You're doing great. Obviously head over heels, but doesn't quite say it yet. That'll be a theme later. And I think at this point, Harry and MJ are together. They kind of got together off screen because Peter never made a move.
Yeah.
Whole thing. But
shoot your shots, kids.
Exactly. Be confident. Make mistakes. Get messy. Woo!
This message brought to you by two single guys.
So anyway, so it's a whole thing with Peter there. And, they're all good. I'm actually going to look up the plot really quickly because I don't know why. This movie's 2 hours long, and I thought I had it memorized.
Which I was very surprised this was 2 hours.
I wasn't, just kind of given the way movies are now. But, because again, this is one of the big superhero movies that kind of started the craze that lasted this long. So I'm not surprised that it's
still going, kind of.
Right. Let me just check the plot real quick.
Everybody's like, crap, more crap, but people still go see him.
Well, yeah, he's me. That person's me.
Yeah.
I watched the Marvels in theaters.
They're pandering to him.
Oh, dude, yes. But I watched the Marvels and Madam Web in theater. I don't care.
Yeah. And you have do you still have the poster in the bathroom?
Yep. I have Madam Web poster in my bathroom of my apartment. So every time I'm just absolutely fighting for my life in there, I can look at Dakota Johnson going, congratulations.
Woo!
Right, exactly. So next we get to a scene of Norman, Norman's doing great, guys. The stocks and
fantastic.
He's doing great, despite the fact he's a murderer. Goofy Goblin, shoo it aside.
Yeah.
But
Silly Willy still making bad.
The stocks are going up. Everything in the company's looking great. But there's a buyout by Quest or whatever, which is the other enemy, kind of weapons manufacturer that kind of poached their deal or whatever. They're like, guys, everything's great. No, it's not. We're getting bought out. But we're so great. How are they buying us out? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
And the only reason they're buying them out is because they're ousting Norman from the company and from the board. So, not great. And we get, obviously, Norman's famous, how much have I sacrificed? And we don't care.
No.
So Norman's obviously mad and he wants revenge because the Goofy Goblin has a bloodlust.
Yes.
And there's the Unity Day Festival happening magically at this the next few days where all the board members will be
yeah in Times Square,
right? And Harry and MJ are there, and MJ's wearing a dress that Norman won't like that, grr, or something like that. And
they shoot it in Times Square. You know what Times Square is famous for? Advertisements.
Oh,
there are so many product placements.
I don't think we can kind of do them all here.
No, there's Prudential. I saw that one. There was an LG ad.
I'm sure there's Coca-Cola in there.
Oh, there's Coke. Yeah, Sony had a couple ads in there too. Of course. Yeah. I think Sony actually had at the time the big TV at Times Square below the clock.
Oh, okay.
So, product placements aplenty.
Rad, but. Anyway, so it's the Unity Day Festival. Peter's there, obviously they're taking pictures with the Bugle or whatever, and the green goofball shows up and starts murdering people. He throws a pumpkin bomb at the board members, and they turn all into skeletons, because this movie's for serious people. And And obviously, like...
Who are these people again that are saying this is like the most serious movie of all time?
People on Spider-Man Twitter. Which, guys, I like this movie still, but this is a goofy movie.
Yeah, it's a goofy movie, of course. It's goofier than the Goofy movie.
There's no way this movie can get extremely goofy. Anyway. Man. But...
Where's Goofy Goblin in the Goofy movie?
Gosh, Maxie, we're going back to formula. Instead of power line, it's Willem Dafoe. Standouts from eye to eye.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're at the Unity Day Festival. Green Goblin's causing a ruckus. And we get one of my favorite little sequences in this movie. Where the where the police, like, look at the Goblin and go, like, freeze. He goes, I surrender. And then the random extra goes, it's Spider-Man! And he swings it. Oh my god. Not the kid's fault, obviously. But the way she said it was, and honestly, it's not even the way she said it. It's the way it's cut. Because he goes, here's Spider-Man! He flies in.
The extras are
I love them.
So extra.
I love them so much. I would not change a thing. But...
You're leaving this movie alone?
Heck yeah, dude.
Okay.
This movie was so entertaining, I can't even be mad. Yeah. You can't have a bad time watching these movies.
No, you can't.
Like, say what you want about the plot. Sam Raimi makes some goofy, entertaining movies. Can't hate the man.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Peter and Green Goblin have a big old Windows screensaver transition fight, because that's what the CGI is at this point.
When they did the split screen,
it's like where Goblin's like
I was like, what am I watching? A football game?
Right, where Goblin's like on the glider, like flying back up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
When they're doing like the sports transitions.
No,
like,
right.
What is going on?
And they have their little Power Rangers fight or whatever.
Yeah.
And
the Power Rangers fight.
Right. And everyone remembers that. And
classic.
Eventually he kind of like gets Goblin to a state where he has to fly away. He goes, "We'll meet again, Spider-Man." Yeah.
Which is also silly, very said in a very silly Willy way.
Oh yeah, classic silly Willy. And
we all know him. We love him.
We love him, you know. And Peter rescues MJ, who is kind of like, struggling to stay alive at this point because the friggin' ledge she was on was collapsing, whatever. And we get, an obvious mannequin carrying her around in the green screen, yippee-dee-dee.
Yeah.
And he places her down like, "Who are you?" "You know who I am. Spider-Man." Jumps off the roof.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah. And jumps off the roof.
Don't mind her. She's looking for the elevator.
Right, exactly.
I would imagine those are just random people up there.
No, they probably were.
Had nothing to do with the movie.
I was like, oh, what happened here? Spider-Man, how'd you get here?
One thing I've noticed about this movie, and we'll continue on because this is going to be a long one, folks. Lots to talk about. But this movie felt a lot like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, with that, "We'll meet again, Spider-Man." Like, that seems like you'd see at the end of the 60s cartoon.
Oh, yeah. Like, listen, if you guys want us to talk about the Spider-Man cartoons, I would love to.
In color.
Yeah, that was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. Oh, my God.
Why?
I don't know. It's in color. Like, as opposed to we're talking in black and white with these goofy little voices. But
oh, yeah.
Anyway, guys, if you want to talk about the animated series from the 90s, Spectacular Spider-Man, the awful Ultimate Spider-Man, the 60s show, that would be fun.
The 60s show would be really fun.
Pick one.
That's a weird one.
Yell at us which one you want to see first, and we'll do it.
Yeah.
I recommend Spectacular because each season's only 13 episodes long, so it'd be very easy to do.
Yeah.
But also, it's the best one. So anyway, but
Ultimate.
Hate it. The comics are good. The show is.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. We actually don't. I mean, Drake Bell is in that one. We don't talk about it. But anyway, we'll get to it. So, Peter's obviously like, oh, whatever. And Harry's all worried about MJ because, it's a whole thing. And she doesn't really want to talk to her or whatever. And this is the first time that Harry kind of tells Peter, "Hey, we're dating." Which, okay. Yeah. After they already have their apartment together, okay.
And he's like, "Oh, sorry." A little bit later, he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't tell you."
"But you never made a move." And it's like, great friends, guys.
Yeah. That's a real big winner moment.
Yeah, it's a real good best friend material for Harry Osborn. And, it's later in the night, and, Peter's walking around or whatever, and, like, he sees MJ, and he talks to her, whatever, and, like, she's about, oh, no, she gets mugged or whatever. And Spider-Man shows up and beats up the criminals, and they have their famous upside-down kiss, where Kirsten Dunst's, areas are very visible. Which, I can't believe they let that slide in a PG-13 movie. But, okay.
Listen.
Don't you
Are you listening?
Don't you dare say would.
What?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that was... A lot of kids stopped playing with toys that day after they saw that scene. But,
Those hormones.
but...
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
they do their funny little upside down kiss or whatever. Yeah. And then, this is when we get to the part of the movie where it kind of becomes a cat and mouse game between the Goblin and Silly Willy and Spider Slacker, because they kind of start to figure out they know each other in some way. Norman figures out that it's probably Peter through a bunch of scenarios. Like, there's the whole Thanksgiving scene where...
The cut, and
there's all that drama because Harry didn't stick up for MJ and all that things.
Which, bad boyfriend, get out of here.
Right, exactly.
Loser. What an idiot.
Yeah, get Peter the Park Ranger in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, exactly. That's our real hero of the day.
Best friends.
Exactly. Best friends, they steal each other's women. But,
Hot potato.
Don't describe women as hot potato. God, feminism is still marching on because of that. But...
And then there's the Double After Hours podcast, knocking it down.
Anyway, so Aunt May takes a little tumble and has a nice trip and sees you next fall and ends up in the hospital for a bit. Because obviously, and obviously, like, he's there to visit her, and so is MJ.
Yeah.
And, Peter and MJ have a little moment, because, of course, they do.
Why is MJ there?
Because, that's Peter's aunt.
Yeah, but, like, I thought they weren't on speaking terms.
Not really.
Or, like, they weren't, like, the bestest of friends.
Apparently, they became really good friends off screen. Happens to the best of us.
Okay. But, yes, the off-screen of real life.
Amen. But...
That's where you get Silly Willy.
Dude, Silly Willy's on screen. What are you talking about?
All day. Made the movie.
But anyway, they have a little moment in the hospital room, and Harry shows up at the worst time ever, very movie, and goes, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
And MJ's obviously not really knowing what I want here. And
Right.
Peter's not very clear, and Aunt May's like, "You've liked this girl forever. You need to tell her. Everyone knows how you feel. Do it."
Yeah. Which
I mean, sure.
that's solid.
I
but-
agree, Aunt May. You had a nice trip.
Yeah.
Apparently you rattled some sense into you. But fun fact, elderly, elders going on nice trips, not funny. Don't do that in real life. Just letting y'all know.
Just don't fall.
Yeah, just don't fall. Don't trip. If you trip, you're a loser.
What an idiot. I love that line. That's my favorite line in
Turn
Cars.
right
is,
to go left. What an idiot.
I will quote that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you're gonna look at a genuine tragedy on the news and go, "What an idiot!"
Oh, and I have a public image to maintain.
I don't.
Okay. No, you don't.
I mean,
Well,
I technically do, but
later.
not as much.
There is a guy, fun fact, we used to do a radio show, for those that don't know.
No
if
way.
you haven't figured this out at this point. And there's a guy on their buzzboards that is trying to enter us into the Michigan Radio Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Yes, he is trying
Good for
his
him.
hardest. He's going to put in, he said he was going to stuff the ballot box for us,
Amen.
which would be the most revolving door thing to happen. It was called a revolving door show. But that would be the most revolving door way of winning.
For the amount of war crimes we put in that show,
Yeah.
why not some election crimes too?
Yeah.
But
why not? Spider-Man. Anyways.
yeah, I mean, we don't know who you voted for. I don't know. Silly Willy?
Silly Willy.
Wrote him in.
I will write him in.
Anyway,
Upcoming election.
Silly Willy.
Most important one. Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Silly Willy. Take your bets, people. But,
Is Silly Willy running for Green Party?
dude, he's his own
Dude, he
party.
is the Green Party, Green Goblin.
Oh my God!
We figured it out, guys.
Go vote.
Right now.
I know.
Election, not for another few weeks. Go
Months.
for it. Months. Yeah.
Months.
Months.
But anyway, so we get this whole list. So eventually, Norman as Green Goblin calls Peter and is like, "I know you're Spider-Man."
Yeah. Kind of spider come out to
Right,
play.
and then Peter's like, "I have to call MJ because obviously she might be hurt." Because at this point, Aunt May, well, actually, this is earlier before she was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Aunt May, this is the reason she's in it. And she didn't have a nice trip and see you next fall. That's something else. I don't know why I made that up. But the Green Goblin yells, "Finish the prayer," and blasts through her friggin' house and, obviously rattles her.
Yeah.
And that's why she's in the hospital. Ignore my previous explanation. But
Do we need to have a re-edit?
probably.
Oh, okay.
Even though the joke was funny.
Yeah,
but,
it was funny. No, we'll leave it in. It's fine.
But I don't know why I thought it was that. Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. I'm not sure.
I think so.
I don't know if that happened in Spider-Man 2 or 3 or something else. I don't remember.
It's been a while since I've seen him, so I know.
Genuinely, I'm just tweaking a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he calls MJ to see if she's safe, and obviously he gets the Goblin laugh or whatever. And then he goes, "Oh, I gotta go find MJ." Yeah. And Green Goblin,
which he falls asleep with, or like next to. Yeah, MJ's in the bed. He's like in a chair. He's like doing homework or whatever.
Yeah.
So MJ has gone by this point.
Yeah, MJ's gone.
Yeah.
And previously that Spider-Man and Gobby had a whole scene where like, we're not so different, you and I. And Peter's like, I'm different. And he goes, no, and flies away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Silly Willy didn't like that, I guess.
Silly Willy, not a big fan.
Not a big fan. And, we get a whole thing where he shows up and finds the Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
And he presents a choice to Peter.
Yes.
Either save the woman you love or let the children die. Or try to save both, which is what he does.
Yeah.
Which, it's the whole thing, like, you could be a villain or a hero. Be a villain, because being a hero is for chumps. Being a villain is cool, because the people will turn on you. Yeah. Which he's proven wrong, because, when Spider-Man needs their help most, all the extras of New York yell, if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
You're messing with all New York.
All of New York. We love Spider-Man and the Mets.
Go Jets!
And that's the day Green Goblin became an Aaron Rodgers fan. But what? Wasn't that funny? He was on the same stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was.
Which, apologize that we're skipping around this movie a little bit.
That's fine.
It's a funny time.
It's a funny movie.
22 years old.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
You've had time to watch it.
You've seen The Heart, Osborn, and the random transition where Goblin jumps at the screen. That was weird.
All you cable connoisseurs, it's been on one of the majors.
Yeah, it's been on FX like, 10 billion times?
Yeah.
Figure it out.
You've caught it, whether it was in 2009 or in...
Now. It's probably on right now. Go check.
Dude. What's on right now?
No way we're actually checking now.
I gotta check real quick.
Okay.
We gotta
Guys, we're recording this episode the 1st of July, so this is what these listings will be.
At 4:46.
Right.
And let's take a little gander.
Take a little look.
Take a little look.
Yeah, take a little look.
Interrupt right in the middle of the podcast.
Scooby-Doo.
I was at a remote for the station that I work at.
Yeah.
And I was talking with some guy about, and he mentioned SNL. He was like, "Oh yeah, I probably watched," because I guess we had like new shirts that had like an SNL reference on it.
Oh,
It was
okay.
more cowbell. And we were talking about
okay.
SNL, and he was like, my other favorite one is Celebrity Jeopardy. I love Burt Reynolds when he goes, Scooby Doo. He said, "Oh, Scooby Doo," and
hero.
I was laughing so hard.
My hero.
That's great.
But anyway.
Not SNL. We're talking about Spider-Man, and right now finding out what's on FX.
If you guys would like to talk about us to talk about SNL, let us know.
It is Behind Enemy Lines.
Ah, boo.
Not Spider-Man, unfortunately.
Give it time.
Oh, dude. Car accident? Free legal help? I'm ready.
Thanks, Silly Willy.
Thanks, Silly Willy's car insurance.
But anyway, so Silly Willy gets beat up by the citizens, and Spider-Man saves everyone. Yippee yippee yee.
Mm-hmm.
And they chase each other into like an abandoned building or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have this whole kind of brutal dog-out fight where bombs are thrown and everything's kind of happening. And Norman tries to kind of like reason with Peter. Because again, like the whole time, Norman's kind of flipping from goblin mode to regular mode. Because of the serum, he's insane. We all know this. We also know him. And he's like, "Oh, listen, you've been like a son to me. Act like a son to me now." And Peter's like, obviously his spider sense is going off because he realizes that his glider is going to probably kill him. Mm-hmm. And Peter's like, "No."
Yeah, my dad's Uncle Ben.
Yeah, exactly. "I had a father. His name is Ben Parker. He had the best rice." And then he yells, "Godspeed, Spider-Man. I hated Uncle Ben anyway. His rice sucked." And then kills himself because Spider-Man's spider sense obviously dodges that whole nonsense. He stabs himself.
Yeah.
And he yells, "Don't tell Harry," and dies.
Yeah.
When the goofiest and like hits his face on the glider.
The bonk.
It's so funny.
Please tell me soon that they're gonna make they can have like an anniversary cut where it's like in Star Wars where the stormtrooper bonks his head and they added the bonk sound effect. Please,
I'll make it myself, dude.
Please put that Spider-Man.
I'll make it myself. But
no.
And then we go to Norman's funeral. Obviously, everyone's very sad. Because Harry has basically no family left because his mother's already dead. Sometimes she's dead. Sometimes she's just kind of a neglectful parent. This
Mystery.
time, she's dead.
Yes.
And Harry leaves, and MJ and Peter are still there. Mm-hmm. And we get our ending little scene where MJ basically confesses to Peter that she loves him or whatever.
Oh my god, I hate the scene.
Go for it. Why?
I hate the scene because of the end. The very ending part, what he says.
Yeah.
He's like, as only a friend, Peter Parker.
That's all I have to give.
And walks away. You've been trying this whole movie, this entire film, to get the girl. And you go, that's the only I can give. Fuck you little rat.
Woo! But, yeah.
You spent, in all seriousness, I know that waveform is going to look great. I can't wait to see
well
that.
aware. It's going to look great.
You spent this entire movie setting that up
mm-hmm.
to then proceed to friend zone?
Amen. Power of the player, dude. Aaron's like an introspective little tirade here.
Listen.
Yeah?
Listen. That's just irritating to me. I hate that. I want your thoughts. What's your thoughts?
That's classic Spider-Man. Dude, he just watched his best friend's dad get pulverized because of him.
Uh-huh.
He is not ready for that, and he knows it. This is when Peter really realizes that everyone he loves is really in danger because of what he does. You really think he's going to go, I love you? That's a threat. That's the whole reason.
Go for it.
All right. I guess we'll have to agree to disagree on this one, and we'll pick this back up in Spider-Man 2, and this whole nonsense gets even more complicated.
Was that sequel bait, though?
I don't think so.
You don't think that was a sequel bait plot?
Honestly, I think the movie ends pretty well where it is.
He's walking away, and then more Spider-Man, and then the credits.
There wasn't a lot of loose plot threads, I'd argue. But
I don't know.
Another bad Tobey Maguire monologue where he's like, my life is not for the faint of heart. Who am I? You sure you want to know? What? And
I spent an entire movie setting up this plot with this girl. I said no.
Whoop! That's the movie. That's Spider-Man 1.
From bad CGI.
Yeah.
Well, dated CGI.
There you go.
I'll say that. Product of its time. I mean, look at Godzilla 1.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Godzilla -1.
Still want to watch that.
I haven't either. We should do that.
Interesting. Dated CGI. To extra extras. To Silly Willy and the Goofy Goblin. To
Uncle Ben's Rice.
To
Kirsten Dunst.
Peter Parker's big friend zone.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst's
hat.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Oh, and J. Jonah Jameson being awesome.
Yes.
And William Dafoe, in all seriousness,
being great.
stealing the movie. He stole the show, dude.
I mean, it's what we all remember. Why we remember him.
Why we remember him. We're not putting a picture, not making a parody of that one.
I might.
Have we told the audience about the parody?
Whatever parody at Clutch Powers where you put a big old circle on his waist.
Yeah.
With Steve Harvey for some reason being there.
Yeah, that's not happening with William Dafoe.
If you guys want to see that picture, let us know.
Yeah. We'll leave that up to the audience to decide.
We'll make a whole meme post of all the goofy joke thumbnails I've made over the years.
No.
Or the days. Not years.
The years.
We just started this. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
But
we're getting there, though.
That's the movie.
That is the movie.
You know what, Aaron? What did you think? Does this movie hold up? I know you were leaning into it, but
I mean, it's definitely, they're showing the outside. It's 2002,
right?
It's definitely a take back to 2002.
Mm-hmm.
It's born in 2004. Can't say that, but I've seen enough footage of 2002 to.
I was there.
I was there. Yeah, no, we were all there. It's fine. I was there on set with Silly Willy, but. With just the dated CGI, it's a fun watch.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
It's a fun watch. I'm going to say that. It's a fun watch. You're going to have fun watching it. If you haven't seen it yet, FX, it's coming on soon. But, or for everybody else, it's streaming
on Disney Plus,
and for everybody else, it's on the piracy. It's fine. You can go steal it. Had that sucker.
Give Silly Willy more money.
Had that sucker downloaded in 30 seconds.
Give Silly Willy more money. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm sure William Dafoe is crying at the fact that he's not fuming that he's not getting any more money.
Get Silly Mickey more money.
Yeah, no. But it's a fun watch. It's a little dated sometimes with it, but I'd say it's all right.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that really sums up my thoughts on this movie is that, listen, as a Spider-Man fan, which is usually what I watch this kind of movie as, it's okay. It's not my personal favorite version of the character in the movies. Yeah. Like, we'll get to that version when we eventually get to it. But
lower your pitchforks.
I know. But for what it was and for everything it had to do to establish Spider-Man to a general audience outside of the 90s animated series and the 60s animated series and the comics, because people still read comics kind of back then, I can't hate it too much. It did a decent job. Like, if someone watched this movie and kind of told me who they thought Spider-Man was, they'd be pretty accurate. Yeah. I mean, they would maybe not know a couple things in terms of how confident he gets later and some other, like, stuff and how he interacts with other characters. But at its core, I still think this movie does a good job at, dealing with it.
I know we talked a little bit earlier about Tobey being kind of, Yeah. Like, he's not super, like, out there flamboyant.
Right. Which I still think for most Spider-Man characters, you kind of need something of.
Right. But I do see that kind of come out a little bit more later in the movie.
Just in the worst one.
In the worst way possible. Yes.
You're out, Gobby. Out of your mind.
Yeah.
Just end the movie. Yeah. But,
I mean, it kind of wraps back around to the not super out there Spider-Man, but
and there's obviously a level of personal bias here, which yes, I did grow up with this movie, but I personally prefer my Spider-Man to be a little bit better at quipping and just be a little more out there just in terms of socially and just kind of getting it.
Sure.
But obviously this is Peter's like origin story. He doesn't have it all together yet, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll focus on this point when we get to Spider-Man 2 and 3. But
I can't wait for 2.
Oh, dude, 3 I'm even more excited for. 3 is insane.
It's just pandemonium.
I need to kill Peter Parker. Praise to God to kill him, man. God bless America. But
okay.
But yeah, that's Spider-Man 1. I don't really have that much to say. I've basically said everything I kind of wanted to say about it.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
As someone who is not, I mean, you know me. For those in the audience and listener land that don't know me personally, yeah, right. This has no idea who I am. It's first time. For the first timers out there just discovering the podcast, welcome. We accept you with open arms. But
just like Silly Willy.
Just like Silly Willy, yes, very much so. He's very accepting of his new son, Tobey Maguire. But
kills him.
Yeah, right. But as someone who doesn't really watch a whole lot of like superhero movies, it's just not my thing.
I've dragged him to most of them.
Yes, you have. And listen, it's fine. I will definitely I'll watch them with friends.
Yeah,
because you're with friends, of course, it's fun, right? But if it
does something cool, like the Spider-Verse movies with their animation and all that stuff. If it does something like genuinely crazy.
Took me how many years to watch that movie? War crime levels.
5?
Yes. Yeah, it was 5. Yeah, you're right. Wow, you know it. Dang.
I have all your crimes memorized.
Now this is what friendship's about there, Toby.
Woo!
But anyways, I've said this 100 times. As someone who doesn't watch them, like if like a new movie comes out, new superhero movie, I'm not going to be clamoring to go see it.
Right. Unless it's like something, like unless like me and the boys are like, yo, guys, we're going to see it. Like, we're going to like, I guess, because this is coming out obviously before, but we're going to watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
That's been on our to-do list over this summer in terms of stuff we want to watch because, hey, it's probably going to be the biggest movie of the year.
Right.
Let's do an episode about it.
It's already out. There you go.
Let's just do it.
Future-proofing.
Plus, you seem like a guy who maybe liked Deadpool. I don't know.
Yeah. I've never actually sat down and watched any of the Deadpool movies. Surprising, I know.
Do you want to do episodes on them?
I would like to actually watch them. I just kind of saw when I first. Of course,
I think the only like Deadpool movie stuff you kind of know is what I've yapped about on the radio show.
Yeah, that's about it. I know he's a guy. Here's what I know about Deadpool. He's sarcastic.
Yep.
He's really just out there sometimes.
Yep.
He's got cancer.
Yep.
And he's Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about it.
That's 4 things.
And he has guns. And he has swords too. Yeah.
So he uses his sword, Danny.
Yeah.
I use my sword for you, Wolverine.
So it's basically just like it's funny Marvel.
Yeah.
Kinda, sorta.
We'll get to it. But
Yeah.
teaser for the Deadpool and Wolverine episode, which we're all very excited about.
And he was also extremely locked down in the Lego games.
Woo!
That was a tough time getting Deadpool.
Yeah. I didn't even do it back in the day.
Yeah, you just skipped him.
Well, I didn't like him as much as a kid, so I was like, eh.
Well, yeah, I think the humor is a lot more. You have to be a lot older to
They
understand
neutered
it.
him in that movie, or that game, so it's like,
Well,
whatever.
of course, yeah.
So, and as a kid, I already kind of knew what he was for the adults, so I was like, oh, I'm looking at kid Deadpool, and I'm like, this is lame.
No.
Get out of here.
The Lego games are good, though.
They're fun, though.
Shane. We're tracking Shane right now. He's driving over.
I can hear him running.
Yeah.
But
you can hear him interrupting.
But I think that's all we have to give with Spider-Man 2002.
I was kind of wrapping back around to what I was going to say. As someone who doesn't watch a bunch of superhero movies, isn't super into them, it was good.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't great, but it was watchable.
Yeah.
I could sit through it. There's a lot of humor, the romance
funny.
thing. It's a funny movie, okay? It's funny.
You can't have a bad time watching it.
No, right. That's kind of the moral of the story here.
Exactly.
You cannot have a bad time watching Spider-Man 2002.
And hopefully you guys didn't have a bad time listening to this episode, too,
Yes.
because obviously we want to do Spider-Man 2, 3, the Amazing Movies, the Tom Holland ones, Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see us do more superhero stuff, support this episode, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Because we'll do what you guys want to listen to. But anyway, that's all I got. I'm Charlie Robinson.
And I'm Aaron Gresser. And go check out our social media pages.
Yes.
I guess since I haven't made the new outro yet, what are our social media?
We have our Instagram page, the Double After Hours Podcast, our Facebook page by the same name, our TikTok page just called the Double After Hours Podcast, Double After Hours Podcast. Just look up the Double After Hours Podcast on Google or Bing, whatever you use. You'll find us on all the socials.
Look for the black and white microphone.
Yes.
You'll
For
find
the little
us.
crescent moon.
Yes. Which it was kind of funny when I was printing out the because I was making coasters, a little behind the scenes here.
Ooh.
I know this sounds going so long, but it's mostly just filler.
It's good.
I've been making coasters, and I made basically an inverted version. I made a regular version of our logo to make as a coaster, right? But I made an inverted version because I was going to fit like the pieces, like kind of like a Lego. It's kind of like fit them in, and it was going to have like dual tone and really cool. Didn't end up working out, but I do have like basically a build your own After Hours Podcast logo. It's like just the bare, like you got the circle, you got piece of the microphone, you got the crescent moon. And it's like a build your own logo.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's kind of funny. I still have it. It's just sitting in my room.
Well, thank you for listening.
That has nothing to do with the episode, but thanks for listening, guys.
I don't know. That's how we're going to end it, I guess. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Double After Hours Podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to check out our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm Aaron Gresser, and thanks for staying after hours.